Seems like in the last couple of years, bullying has come to the forefront, especially in news stories, in tragedies at school shootings, and just your everyday situations that go on in schools, and they seem to be getting worse, what with social media and the 24-hour nature of bullying at this point. So, how do you stop it? Well, a township in Wisconsin believes that you fine the parents, and that's what we're talking about today in Top Talkers. My panel, Alison Sandor from 580 CFRA. Good morning.
Good morning.
Connie B, very excited, a little bit tired after her amazing night last night.
It was amazing.
From Majic 100, and of course Lianne Laing as well. Okay, so let's talk about this. We're talking about fining parents in the Wisconsin city of Monona, which will allow police to fine parents of students who bully their peers. So the parents of the bully would get a fine, a first-time fine of $114, and every repeat offense would be $177. Do you think this is the right way to go about it?
I can see the validity behind it, but at the same time, you can't always assume that the parents know exactly what's going on at school. I mean, kids go to school and some of them become bullies because they themselves are so insecure, so their parents don't necessarily know about it.
Is it a parent's job to know about it? Are they falling down on the job then, Connie B?
I do. I think, you know, you monitor what your kids watch on TV, what they're doing on the computer, and you should have constant interaction with the school, with the teachers to know what your kid is doing. You know, I find it's neglectful as a parent not to know what's happening with your child, and a lot of parents of kids who are the bullies are in denial that their child is actually a bully.
We don't want to think of our children in that way, but, you know, there are subtle ways to bully, and then, you know, there are different ways, Lianne.
There are. We have young children right now, right? So we are completely, you know, on them from their every move. Like we acknowledge what's going on. There's interaction still within the parents because you see them at the playground, you see them, you know, at the school bus. So there's still that relationship. I find that parents can get in on it. I think it's you know, it'd be nice to see the responsibility of the parents as the kids are getting older. I think you know, kind
it drops off.
It drops off. I mean, right now, like, you know, we ran into an instance. Andy was 8, and there was something that happened on the school bus. But the parents, we were able to discuss it so that the kids had a better understanding of what one child was feeling and what the others were. And so we were able to communicate and do that. But we have younger children, and we're at the part right now where everything we're saying to them, you're trying to soak it in. I don't know what happens when you're starting to see 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, when, you know, they're walking in the house and could be walking marched up to the room, shutting the door and say, I want to talk to you. You know, we're you know, it's different, I find, for the different age groups as to how you're able to communicate with that child.
Is that even a realistic expectation for parents to be micromanaging their 12 and 13-year-old? Are we not supposed to be letting go a little bit at that age?
I come from a place where, I mean, I grew up in Budapest, Hungary, and I went to an American international school, private school, where parents were filthy rich, and they were off in Paris, and they were off in Switzerland and Moscow, and they were away, and there was the nannies taking care of the kids. So maybe I have a different perspective on this, because the parents had no clue what was going on until they came back and they were confronted with, hey, your son got suspended because he took Alison's face and superimposed it in a toilet bowl and posted it all over the school.
Yeah, okay. So
I was one of those horribly bullied children.
Yeah, and do you feel like that it was the school's job to punish that person? Where does the responsibility lie?
I believe in part with the school. I mean, the school needs to take a firmer stance. When that happened, that child was suspended right away. I mean, the school director walked out and found out who did it, and that was it, done.
Okay.
But at the same time, the parents, they do need to get involved, but just my argument is that they don't necessarily always know, and that's where it comes where you have these 12, 13-year-olds who are slamming their doors and going to the rooms. They don't always know, even if they try to micromanage.
What about the parent whose child is being bullied? If they're able to get their child to express what is happening, then that parent to know to take that responsibility, because the bully's parent might not know, to say, listen, I've spoken to my child, speak to the school, do I have permission to speak or call the parent of the bully, and then have that relationship being done, because you are trying, that parent may not know, but at least giving them the opportunity to be able to discuss things with their child before a fine like this or something comes through.
You know, I know it's going to happen at some point, and I dread the thought of hearing my son tell me about how he's been bullied, but something that would be worse would be finding out that he was a perpetrator of bullying. I think that would be that's actually my worst fear.
Well, you know, just from the No More Bullies campaign that we do on Majic 100 with the morning show, is that so much of the burden is on the schools, and we need to get into that dialogue, like you said, you know, talking to our kids, whether they're being bullies or, you know, you think think they're being, bullied or they're the bullies, there's that constant communication that has to happen. We just can't leave it to the schools and say, okay, you're at school between 9 and 3 and it's not my responsibility anymore.
Well, the police chief did say that it will be for parents who are obstructive or uncooperative, and I think there is still that culture out there. There are some parents who believe that they have a tougher kid and they're going to get what they want out of life because they go out and grab it and take advantage, and that I think has to change. Perhaps this helps that, or?
Well, I understand the culture where you have these parents who they themselves were bullies, and so like, my child's not a bully. That's just tough love. Like, we're all bullied, deal with it. So I understand if those are the type of parents who are getting fined. And if it's a repeat offense and you're getting fined again, maybe that offense should be higher.
I think the reason that they're taking such extreme measures, and it's quoted in the article, that all major school shootings and suicides that we're seeing almost always link back to some sort of act of bullying that has happened in the school. So something has to be done. Don't know if this is the right way to go about it, but we'd like to hear from you always on our Facebook page, Twitter, wherever you find us on social media. Share your thoughts with us. Thanks so much to my panel today.